No Mai, no Chano. No Charlotte, no Haino.
Yeah, and usually it's the jungle side of the Vietnam who's gonna get Nakoruru, right? Exactly what you were saying. But this is gonna be the second time the Singapore team's gonna get Nakoruru once more, making sure the power picks coming in from Vietnam is gonna be reduced. But with the Guan Yu, I think this is such an aggressive pick coming in from Singapore. They want to make sure they are the one who sets the stage. They are the one who creates opportunity.
Yeah, before this, the draft for Team Singapore is that, okay, I want you to come towards me and then I will anti-CC everybody and then I will fight back. Now it's Team Singapore sending a message that we want to fight because of the Guan Yu. Guan Yu can go behind, especially when Zheya is not the most mobile sort of hero. He will be staying all the way at the back, trying to throw all these skills, including the Universal Law. He will, for the most part, be at the same spot. So Guan Yu can actually push him forward and put him in an awkward position.
Yeah, and I feel like Vietnam, if Ata is not open... Okay, there we go. Perfect ban. I was waiting for it coming from Team Singapore because if you're on a Guan Yu, you want an Ata to lock down this Guan Yu. But without this counter pick, check out the crowd control coming in from the 4 picks of Team Vietnam. Not a lot of CC to stop this horse.
Yeah, the fact that they actually went with Byron as first pick is probably a little bit of a waste of the important slot because they already showed up. This is Byron. You know, we don't have anyone else to actually stop Guan Yu now. Because or else they would have been able to take Charlotte. But again, Charlotte has been banned by a Singaporean team. Very smart coming out from them. Ukyo for the jungle on Vietnam. If that's not a sign of aggression, I don't know what is.
Yeah, so they want to take this fight head on, right? Without a doubt. Their last pick has to be the Liampo. If not, they won't have enough durability in front. They will be over-reliant on the Byron. At least right now, they have the Liampo and then they have the Byron. And Liampo can also engage in fights as well. So in case, like, okay, they get pushed in because of the Cannon Blast starting the fight, the Liampo is there to counter-engage. But Sagi, what do you think about this draft?
This time around, I would say it's more of a 50-50 draft coming in from both sides. We'll have to see how Singapore plays around with the Guan Yu engage. Can they find the backline? Or will Team Vietnam utilize the strong jungle and clash lane synergy in punishing Singapore's slightly weaker early game setup here? But this is game 2. This is where it all matters here. Singapore, if they win this, they proceed to the finals of the last chance stage. If Vietnam wins this, they hold on in this series here. Gentlemen, let's get into the gorge.
Thank you, Sagi. As we go into the game to see whether or not Vietnam can hold on to this fight. We do know that Singapore doesn't have any tank whatsoever. They do have Moze, but it's not, it's not tanky enough. So they really have to be much more careful. They have to start the fight from far and then dive right in when the time is right.
Oh yeah, without with the Moze, their gameplay is going to be very different this time, right? They're going to try to play with projectiles. And it looks like with that projectile, they're aiming on the Kuitan, and Nampong will be the one trying to absorb the damage. But at the same time, Kuitan took a lot. Look at this, down to 10% of health. He will be forced to turn back. But lucky for him, there's a heal off there.
Yeah, and this is what Sagi said just now as well, where sometimes they do switch their roles. So Bao Huang is right now playing jungle, and Hui Tan is going to be playing farm. It's going to be very interesting for us to see on how they're going to do this one. Sometimes we do see some disadvantages when they switch roles a bit too much, right? But you know what? Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it could work. Maybe they have their own ideas. But let's see this very good crowd control knockup's gonna come in and the follow-up. And he's gonna go down here, Cloud. Yanji, very early on, rotation coming in from the mid lane really works out very well for Vietnam. This is the aggression.
Yes, absolutely right. The aggression that we were looking forward to seeing from Team Vietnam. And with the fact that they got Yanzi, that will open up the clash lane a fair bit. Yuming is still there though to hold down the lane for a while, but yeah, you want to try to slow down the progression of the Guan Yu as well, because the Guan Yu will be a very strong playmaker when he is ready.
Yeah, 6,000 gold versus 5,400. 600 deficit for Singaporean team right now. It's a bit too early for them to actually lose that much, but it depends on whether or not Yanji can try to recuperate, try to find more space for himself.
right now it's back to 50-50, I would say. But
Yeah.
because of that one takedown, now Team Vietnam, they have a little bit of goal advantage towards
True.
them. As compared to the game before, the goal advantage was smaller, but this time it's slightly bigger towards Team Vietnam. And
True.
that will prepare them for the first Tyrant coming up soon.
Yeah, right now Kayang is actually using RD. His RD is also very scary, I might add. So, very good hero to go with. He can really play around his situation and try to survive as much as possible because of the mobility. But look at this crowd.
Oh, okay, Yuming receives damage, and Yuming now will be chased down, but the counter blast will buy him a little bit more time. Yet again, Bawang is there to follow up, and they will get another takedown onto Team Singapore.
But it seems like Vietnam is going to try to make good use of this advantage, trying to steal the Azure Golem. It has been blocked by Nam Phuang. The Cannon Blast is ineffective. Waiting for Hui Tan to come by from the side. Is he going to dive in with the Laurel Bloom? He is not.
Okay, they're going to chill for now because in about 45 more seconds, we're going to see the Tyrant up.
Yeah.
So both sides, they are starting to reserve their key skills, especially. But we see a bit of pressure put down to the bottom lane onto Hui Tan. Again, Hui Tan, his health, every time we see him, is at least 50% and below. So it just tells me the level of pressure put onto him. And if he's not able to farm, it's going to be a problem to Team Vietnam in the late game as well.
And Kayang has been all alone down here, mind you, which means he doesn't have his roamer to be assisting him. Going up against two heroes at the same time really gives up a lot of space for his entire team to do a lot of different things for the Singaporean side somewhere else. So that's very great for Team Singapore. They can try to utilize this as much as possible. Having a Frenzy as his common skill, he's going to be able to deal a lot of damage early on.
Okay, right now the Tyrant is up. And no double spike for Team Singapore this time. It's going to be hard for them to challenge this one. Nice zoning here by Team Vietnam, and they will go in for one target. It's going to be Weekend down.
Very much down. Venomous Staff has been made by Lin Van, which is amazing. First item for Mage is Venomous Staff is what we want to learn from. The Ultimate Universal Law did not hit Yi Hui. He's just trying to clear as fast as he can to make sure that they don't have to have any casualty in that area, because three of the heroes from Vietnam is actually trying to focus down on the tier 1 tower in the bottom lane. Seems like they're trying to rotate as fast as possible to move towards the top right now, Cloud.
Big movement here by Team Vietnam. After securing the bottom tower, they are looking at the top right now. Once they take the top, they might be looking for the middle, depending on what kind of opportunity will be presented to them. But so far, for Team Singapore, they have not been creating opportunities for themselves. They are the one playing passively now.
Yeah, quite passively, quite safe. Almost 2,000 gold difference for Vietnam. Seems like they are really benefiting from this aggression. We haven't seen any proper cannon blast from Weecat with a follow-up from Yanji to really win the game early on, but seems like they don't want to do that combo just yet. They are still saving it for the mid-game towards the late game, waiting for where's the Yanji's movement going to be.
Oh, look at this, look at this. Yanji, Yuming, they come in, they see their target, they want power 1, power 1, tries to survive this one. 1v2, but what a good takedown by Team Singapore to find the jungler of Team Vietnam.
Bao Huang, nowhere for him to go. A very quick move coming in from Yuming and also Yanji. At the same time, though, Vietnam actually managed to destroy the tier 1 tower up top on the Singaporean side. So it seems like Singapore really has to be much more careful with this. They're losing a little bit more growth, 1,200 in front for Vietnam.
Yeah, they have to try to win the kind of like an advantage between the two, between the 5 heroes first, before maybe thinking about the map first. And that's why they took the liberty of trying to find Bawang in his own jungle, and they got him. Really good move there, really good response by Team Singapore.
Nice stun coming in from Weecat. Let's see how they're going to try to rotate right now. Seems like Overlord might be on their priority list, allowing them, Bao Huang, to get the Overlord, making sure the lanes are okay. Right now, they're going to try to focus down on the blue buff. Universal Law has been used, but the blue buff has been stolen by Bao Huang.
Yeah, though it's the regular Overlord, but right now, Team Vietnam, they will take anything that they can. Now, I want to see more of Team Singapore doing creative stuff like earlier on, right? Like, send 2 players, go into the jungle, get their target. I want to see more of that, because if right now they just go back and forth, Team Vietnam, they're just going to eat more space.
Oh boy, they're trying to force it out on the top lane. But yes, Lin Van has already also bought Frozen Breath. This is going to slow down a lot of the movements coming in from Singaporean, and might as well just cut their legs off, right? Because it's going to be very, very slow for them. But look at the damage coming in, trying to get Nam Phuang. But fortunately for him, he is a Liampo. He has a passive to recover his HP.
We're not cutting any legs here, okay? And anyway, What we're going to see here is maybe Team Singapore might cut through the middle to try to find the target at the top, but the Guan Yu is not having the space yet to come in from the back, so they're playing from front to back at this moment, which is not the setup that Team Singapore is ready for based on their draft. Their draft is better executed when they can open up the space and allow Yanzi to go from the back.
Yeah, that's what we want. The space is not there just yet because the towers is still all over the place, right? So it's very hard to Yanji to try to find a space from the side, trying to really make good use of his ultimate, the skill sets that Guan Yu has. And again, I have to remind everyone, Guan Yu is not easy to use. It's very hard to aim with the analog, with the movement stick, trying to make sure that you can push everyone at the same time. Also, Guan Yu is not thick. He is very squishy. He can go down very quickly, even though he buys tanky items.
Yeah, so that's why he has to wait for the fight to happen, a few skills being used, then only he comes in later on, right? That's the best case scenario for the Guan Yu. But Team Vietnam, they are not giving him that space, nor Team Singapore is really playing this active enough for the Guan Yu to actually make that sort of move. So they have to find somebody to be able to draw Team Vietnam in one direction, and then the Guan Yu comes from behind.
Yeah, right now they're trying to focus towards the bottom lane. 5 of them from Vietnam really wants a tier 2 tower. The vision has been open with the passive coming in from the Liampo. They're trying to go in. The Triumph Smash goes in. And one of them gets hit very, very well. The damage coming in from the side of Vietnam. But the push from the Guan Yu actually manages to do something as well. He manages to disengage very quickly. But the 4 of them are still trying to force this tower.
Oh, keep an eye on Yuming as well. Yuming from behind might do something here. But Yuming knows that there's not enough people there to support him. So he will not go in all alone. Good discipline shown by Yuming, but looking back at this replay, look at the Trauma Smash. The Trauma Smash caught at least 3 or 4 of them from the side of Team Singapore, and the rest of Team Vietnam, they followed up. So that is good communication there by the entire team.
But hang on, something's happening here. They're trying to go back, but they actually managed to get weak cat just now in the nick of time. But again, another major wall cloud without the involvement of Yanji on the Guan Yu to try to flank from the back. It seems like there's not much that he can do. He can only wait from the front and try to, push everyone away instead of towards their team. I think he needs to be much more opportunistic. He needs to try to make an effort to go all the way to the back, but provided that his team actually helps him out with trying to pull them towards the main core team.
Right, and I can kind of understand as well because they don't have a secondary tank or a secondary somebody who can start fights like a Lampo, for example, right?
Or Zhangfei,
or
Pulapu. Yeah, exactly. This is what they don't have right now, right? That's the problem that I mentioned earlier on. Weak Cat is actually using a Moza. Even though Moza builds item tank, even he can't really go to the fight and open the vision.
Okay, but right now, Team Singapore, they want to open up the vision against Team Vietnam, and they will come in from the side. Here comes the Tremor Smash onto Weekend. Weekend is low. He has to back up, but he can still come in with the Cannon Blast. It will not connect, but it's okay because Yuming is there to get a triple strike.
A very good fight coming in from the side of Singapore. Still waiting for Yanji to maybe try it one more time to find from the backline of the mid lane. It seems like they want the objective. They want to try to extend the gold as far as possible, as close as possible to Vietnam, and the Tyrant is gonna be theirs. It seems like there's a primal bond. I don't think Yuming should stay around that area, and this is exactly what happened just now, Cloud. The stun coming in from Moza is spot on, but Yanji's timing this time is perfect. The cohesion, that's what we want from every Guan Yu players.
Correct. He's starting to find that angle and come in from the other direction when Team Vietnam, they were focused onto the front. And because of his disposition onto the players of Team Vietnam, that's how they kind of won that fight as well. And now Team Vietnam, they have to reset again because Team Singapore is starting to get that momentum.
Yeah, the momentum, is what very dangerous for Vietnam, because Singapore oftentimes plays with the momentum, plays with the inertia that they have to really try to have an advantage. They are very fired up right now. They know that they only need one more game before they go to the final of the last chance stage.
Okay, and here comes Nampo with the Tremor Smash, but he will turn back though because his teammates are not in the right position yet. All he has together with him is Kui Tuk, not the biggest damage dealer. Ling Bang, not the best person there, so he has to turn back. But now without the Tremor Smash, Team Singapore, they know they can engage.
True, and also look at this. Blaze of you is looping with a burst. Look at the back. Look at the back.
Behind.
Yanji is gonna go in, but where's his teammate? His teammate is far away, but Yanji is gonna push everyone. That's the Guan Yu gameplay that we all wanted to see. But there's only Huiduk right now, and they're all gonna go back. Finally, a proper push coming in from a Guan Yu.
Yes, and although Team Singapore, they lost 2 players, but then again, it's still okay. They got 3, so they got the benefit of that fight, and that's what we want to see from Yanzi. And now they're looking for another one on the corridor. They first have to take down the tower. Tower is down though, but Yanzi is kind of low, so they have to retreat.
Yeah, they have to retreat, they have to reset, they have to reload all of their things that they need. But this is how it all started. They went in, and look at Yanji Cloud.
Beautiful, beautiful. He knows his role, what he needs to do in the team fight. He needs to go all the way to the back, try to push as many forward outside of the tower if possible, and that's their winning condition there. But Team Vietnam, they're starting to get back up again. They get the Shadow Overlord. This is going to be a very important Shadow Overlord at this moment, because you want to make sure that your side lanes will be okay when you're focused into a team fight.
Again, they have to focus on giving a lot of space for Kayang, right? Because Kayang is the one who's going to be dealing a lot of damage in the end. Sure, Yanji deals a lot of damage too, and also Yuming, but the consistent missile attack with the critical hits, with all the doomsday effects, with the Spark Force Dagger, it all comes down for Kayang, especially with the Frenzy. So I do think that they need to focus more also on trying to make sure that Kayang lives. On the side of Vietnam, they have to find Kayang. Who's going to find Kayang? Who has enough mobility?
Yes, exactly. Who is it going to be, right? Right now, my eyes are all onto Yanzi. Where is it going to be? Keep your eye on the minimap of where the Guan Yu is. Here comes the Trauma Smash, but CC immune, no effect at all. Oh no, this is going to be bad for number. Here comes Yanzi from the back, but Yanzi taken down immediately by Hui Tang. Now the rest of Team Singapore, they have to follow up. They got that pull, but is it enough though?
A very good focus fire coming in from Vietnam. They saw Yanji coming in. They said, no, not this time. They managed to get him down very, very quickly. Right now, we can see the Vanguard coming in from the top lane. It's going to be cleared by Kayang. I'm pretty sure Yanji is going to start to have a little bit of a hard time, because it seems like Vietnam is very well aware of the positioning of the Guan Yu right now, and they will start to save all of their resources, trying to make sure that Yanji is not going to come in freely.
Yeah, they're starting to read him like a book, right? Like, they know that he's going to come and do this one again from behind. So they have to always keep him in check on which entry point could it be from the back. As long as they have that information early on, Yanzi is not going to have a good time. But then that's going to be the challenge of focus. Like, can you remain that level of focus when everything is happening at the same time?
True, the level of focus has really been intense right now with his goal. Goal is exactly the same, and they're going to get the title without no problem whatsoever. Yanji is trying to find that moment, but it seems like Vietnam, as soon as they see Yanji, they all turn towards him. That's what makes it quite scary as a Guan Yu player, right? Because if everyone is looking at you, you know something bad's about to happen, especially when there's a Laura Bloom who's going to be auto-attacking towards him from Hui Tan.
Yeah, you want them to look the other way, right? And don't look at him.
Yeah.
You look at him after he comes in and pushes people, and that's where, okay, you want to look at me, fine. But before that, no. But that is very good move there by Team Vietnam. And Team Vietnam, they continue on the momentum. They try to take over the jungle at the top. All 5 of them together, but the Blazing Brilliance, unfortunately, did not connect.
Yeah, great cannon blast coming in from Wikiat. He needs to be continuing this thing, but look at Yanji. Is he going to push? He will try, but where's his teammate? His teammate is still very far. There's not enough communication coming in from Singapore. He might lose his life. Yanji needs to be very careful.
Oh, that was so dangerous, right? Totally agree with that. His teammates were nowhere to be found. But anyway, Team Singapore, they're going to switch up the strategy. Now they're sending Yuming onto the side lane to try to push the bottom lane. Try to put pressure back onto Team Vietnam to force them to return back to defend.
Previously, we saw the Republic of Korea and Hong Kong, China playing with Guan Yu and Nakoruru. The way they fight against each other is that Nakoruru does the counter flank, because they were fighting against each other. But this time for Singapore, they have 2 flankers. They have 2 people with high mobility for Nakoruru as well, ignoring all terrains. She can just fly all over the place and make sure that she can have a very good angle to come into the team fight, which is very, very great, right? So right now, Vietnam surprisingly managing themselves to block the Overlord, and there's nothing Singapore can do.
Yeah, they block all the entrance, and Team Singapore, they're not able to get close at all. So they have to let go of this Shadow Overlord again and put themselves in a defensive position unless they can get a big team fight win, like an ace or something like that. And Team Singapore, they're looking for that opportunity, right? We can see them starting to like, okay, let's get into the jungle, let's gather information. But if Team Vietnam is as a 5 right now, then Team Singapore, especially Yanzi, will need to get creative on like, okay, how am I going to go to the backline again?
Yeah, that's the question. Yanja really needs to find his own opportunity to go to the back line. But very smart from Vietnam as well. They are all aware that Yanja is missing. For sure, they will keep all of their skill sets one more time. But it seems like Yanja actually met with Ba Huang, and Ba Huang is really trying to push him, really trying to find a lot of damage towards him, and he has to run away. But it seems like they're gonna try to commit. Not at all. Almost.
Okay. If they commit everything onto Yanzi, then they might be counter-engaged again by the rest of Team Singapore. So good discipline shown there. But keep your eye at the bottom as well. The Nakururu, Yu Ming, trying to push. But then again, there's a Shadow Vanguard there.
Yeah, he's trying to clear the Vanguard as fast as he can. But unfortunately, right now, they're gonna try to defend as well. Yu Ming is still not back at the base. He's gonna try to cut as much minion as he can to buy more space for his teammates, which is very smart.
Right now, Team Singapore, they are pushed into the back. But speaking about the back, Yanzi trying to find an opportunity, and here comes the engagement by Team Singapore. They will start it off first, but Hui Tang is the one that gets Yu Ming. Yanzi is the next one to fall. 3 plays from Team Singapore. They cannot take the front. Kayak has to be extra careful. Then they're going in for Kayak. And Yi Hui from behind trying to deal as much damage as possible. And Weekend is super duper low. He has to leave right now. But Kayak in an awkward position will be taken out by Team Vietnam. And now Team Vietnam with the Shadow Vanguard. Team Vietnam will gain